Okay, so over on the official Infinity Ward website, we've just got the Modern Warfare 2 community update here for beta weekend 1. They're giving us some feedback, and they're pretty much letting us know what's going to be happening, what are they listening to, what are they not. I've kind of had a chance to look at some of this stuff, and to be honest with you guys, they're not listening to some of the major feedback that we like, but we're going to get into it. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, and let's actually hop into this. So first thing, of course, hello, hashtag Modern Warfare 2 players. It's been amazing to see many of you hopping into weekend 1 of our multiplayer beta on Sony platforms, and look forward to many more of you joining us for weekend 2 across all platforms. There's already been a fantastic amount of feedback on Reddit and social media, as well as a ton of stats collected on our side. In addition to these new maps and modes we have lined up for weekend 2, we have some changes and new things we're trying that we'll be sharing with you this week. So throughout weekend 1, we played the game, we watched the game being played, read your feedback, talk with many of you at a high level leading into weekend 2. We fixed various crashes, addressed a few gameplay exploits, patched some map geo lighting issues, updated progression for some gunsmith related bugs. And there's some things that we've heard from you on. So this is where it kind of gets into the fact that they're not going to be listening to some of us. So here's the first thing. The first thing being the mini-map red dot rules. Currently in the Modern Warfare 2 beta, we only show enemy player dots when a UAV is active. The design reason for this is that we do not want to punish players for firing their weapons. I was under the impression there were silencers in the game. I don't know. We also want players to actively search out the origin of those gunshots versus just traveling directly to where the dot is on the minimap. We continue to gather feedback on how the game is playing in regards to this topic. Listen, this was the issue in Modern Warfare 2019. It was then changed. I don't know why we did not learn from Modern Warfare 2019 and we're doing this again here for Modern Warfare 2 in 2022. It's like, I don't know who makes some of these games. I don't know where some of these design decisions come from, but minimap red dots, it's pretty standard. Like, that's not something we should be messing or fighting with the developers on. Like, please, whoever's, you know, making this decision, let's change this. Target tracking. We've seen feedback that it's hard to track targets once you get into a firefight. We agree this is an issue, and we have changes incoming to reduce muzzle smoke opacity and to increase the visibility of muzzle flash to help engage someone who is firing at you. These changes should help with tracking your opponents in combat. We're also investigating more ways to visually differentiate enemies and friendlies outside of the standard nameplates above the heads of opposing players. We'll be trying a few different changes in weekend 2. More on that later this week. Okay, so this is something we have to talk about as well. Being able to track targets because the muzzle flash, the overall recoil, I mean, everything. It feels like you're also getting, there's some suppression in there. It's like it's a whole bunch of shenanigans, and it's almost impossible to switch from one target to the other, you know, in quick succession like you should be able to when you're actually firing at somebody. And I don't like that in any capacity, so I'm happy they're messing with this, but I don't get why that was an issue in the first place and why we didn't kind of think that at any point, hey, this could be a problem. Next up, user interface. We've seen some feedback around the difficulty of editing perk packages. That's very true. I've clicked on so many different random things, all, you know, just trying to mess around with it. Managing loadouts and accessoring the armory. We have identified some UX issues as well, as along with some bugs. These are things we won't be able to adjust on time for beta weekend 2, but they're on the top of the mind ahead of launch. So I guess that's cool that they'll fix it before launch, but still, it's like, I don't know why the UI and everything and selecting all this stuff was as clunky and weird as it was. It seems like the whole UI has been real clunkified, if that's even a verb or a word. And same with Warzone too. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there that needs to be streamlined, and it seems like they took the clunkiness of that and it's also a multiplayer too. So perks, though, let's actually jump in this. We've seen varied feedback on the perk package system. Some players love it and others feel it's unnecessary departure from the original system. We feel it's a nice shakeup to how perks work into the general progression of a match. We've also balanced the ultimate perks to be more powerful as you can earn them later in the match. We'll continue testing throughout the beta weekend 2, including drastically accelerating the earn rate of these to see how players react. Our goal remains improving the flow of all perks ahead of launch. Listen, I don't understand, you know, the necessity to switch up and do this ultimate perk thing. Are these perk packages? I didn't think we needed to switch up the perk system. We've had different variations, you know, your pick 10. We've had your different, you know, be able to pick, you know, a couple of perks up to like a few perks. I mean, just give us like 3, 4. I mean, that's really all we need. You don't need to go in and like reinvent the wheel. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is one of those things that was not broken and we did not need to fix it. So I don't really get that. And also seems like I personally like to have specialists in the game as a strike package, you know, instead of just running assault streaks, and having regular perks would probably allow for that, but I don't know if that would be allowed, you know, with how this works. Anyways, Dead Silence is another hot topic, as many players have expressed that they like to see it as a perk instead of a field upgrade. We believe it is important to the game's health that rushers are not able to move at high speeds without consequence. Dead Silence as a field upgrade creates a balance between freedom of movement and predictability of combat. I agree and disagree at the same time. I mean, Dead Silence would be cool, but as a perk, but I mean, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. Footsteps though, Footstep audio in week 1 of the multiplayer beta was very high. That is some facts. I mean, you could hear anything and everything, and it was way too much. Giving players long distance directional information about the enemies, that's an understatement. For more weekend 2, we have some changes coming in. We are reducing the range of footstep audio for the various player movement states, jog, sprint, and tactic sprint. This will help soften the cost of moving around the map. The second change is that enemy and friendly footsteps are now distinct. This should help players better understand what's going on as things move around on the battlefield. More details to follow. Okay, listen, this is another one of those things here that we probably should learn from our previous, things. The same way we jot down things in history so we can learn from them and not repeat mistakes. It should be the same thing we do with other, basic things in the game, like footstep audio. That's a very classic thing for Call of Duty that does not need to be just thrown through the roof in terms of the volume, and they seem to mess around with it all the time. I don't get it. But moving on, slides. Sentiment around the removal of slide canceling remains positive. I don't know whose that is, but whatever. We are aware of the workaround and are contemplating how to handle it for weekend 2 of the beta. Additionally, we have some other slide changes for launch, which will make this movement feel a bit more fluid and snappy. Okay, because sliding, I mean, they made it so that you basically can't slide. Like, if you slide, I mean, you can't even fire your gun. You can't get out of the slide. I mean, I don't even know what the point is of sliding. You should pretty much just be bunny hopping everywhere. In which case, also there's a weird ability to slide cancel. But it's like a Mortal Kombat, button combination, like 4 different things just to do a slide cancel. So it's like nobody on the right mind's gonna be doing that stupid shit right there. So I don't know why they have this this feedback here. They got all this feedback from this COD, from previous CODs, and then they say, hey, you know what? We probably won't be changing much that you guys actually want to be changed. We won't be doing stuff that really makes sense. But what really grinds my gears is this mini-map red dot rules. Like, this is ridiculous right here. And I don't know, like, who thinks they're getting hunted or, if it's like a safe space thing. But, like, dude, this is ridiculous. Just give us red dots on the mini-map. With that being said, that's all I got. I can rant on for a while. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Just remember to recap, don't be Randy, and I'm out. Peace.